When I learned about the sad news, a text came to my mind which says in Revelation 14 verses 12 to 14, and I paraphrase, "Here is the patience of a saint. Blessed is she who died in the Lord, for she will rest from all his hard work, and her deeds will follow her." How would Nida want us to remember her? To so many, she is a very good person, full of life, exuberant. She is hospitable, she is generous, and she was very giving, and we know that. And she was even known to be out of this world cook. Our friendship began years back in the 70s while I was doing my medical internship at Manila Sanitarium Hospital, where she was working as one of the nursing supervisors. Decades passed, we haven't seen each other, but our friendship continued here in Avon Park when my husband and I decided to retire in 2012. Nida and I became walking buddies. We spent 1 hour a day, 6 days a week, if weather and circumstance permit. Our daily morning walk bonded us together, and our friendship grew deeper than superficial. We bonded until we are both comfortable with each other. She was so comfortable enough to give me a call even with a very just short notice to accompany her to a concert in the college when her husband cannot get out from the operating room to accompany her. Nevertheless, we sure enjoyed our unplanned girls out. Aside from the social bonding, I want to remember Nida as a spiritual person. I want to remember her as a woman of faith, a godly and prayerful friend even before she got sick. Oh, I remembered how she prayed for her son, David, who was just starting his own life, family life in California, preparing for the dental board exams. That was several years ago. And it was during our Faizdak 10 days of prayer that she attended faithfully night after night. She was pouring her out to God with tears in her eyes, praying in behalf of David. At the same time, at that time, she was praying for her sister, Nang Betty, who was still in New York. When Andrew decided of getting married, Nida asked me to make him our subject of our prayer every after our morning walk. Lake Olivia was our witness. And then the time came when she was diagnosed of her very challenging illness. We spent many times in prayer, We shed a lot of tears together, asking for God's intervention. And during one of our serious talks, I was so impressed to tell her, to suggest to her, that this is the very time that she needed to start to put her household together or in order. Oh, how she's worried much about her dear husband, Dr. Placido Roques. She's so concerned about him. What a wonderful, loving wife she was. And then, time came when Deborah decided to get married. The same thing, we did the same thing. We prayed a lot for her only daughter. What a loving mom she was. And even when she was sick, she was praying for her loved ones, her family. And she even specifically asked me to pray for her sister Connie and her brother Charles. What a loving sister she was. By the way, the last time that we talked was a week before her final hospitalization. She was so happy and thankful that Inday was with her for several weeks. And she was so hopeful that she could be home in Avon Park on Mother's Day because her son Andrew will give a Mother's Day concert for her. She even invited me to go to their home on Mother's Day for that concert. But it did not happen. Andrew, we will still have that concert pretty soon, in that great reunion day. For now, my dear friend Nida, just rest peacefully and until Jesus comes. Good night. See you in the morning, my friend.